I'm gonna clack everything. That's my D100.
I've never seen one in person.
Not even.
Wrong button.
God damn it, Andrew.
He's got every clack now.
I've seen you use that.
Nah.
You get a lot of stuff.
When we do recording stuff, or we need
There we go.
to sync up audio, yeah. All right, I started using it for the podcast as well.
Alex, give us an intro.
An intro?
Give us an intro.
We're here.
Ball smashers. No.
Whoa.
You can edit this anyway, it doesn't matter. Welcome, everyone, to first round of the 2023 March Mayhem Tournament of Death and Dismemberment. And Andrew is ominously walking around with this, what I believe is to be the trophy.
It is our idol.
Is the trophy going to be under wraps until
Nope.
the end?
No, we've already
Shut up,
discussed
man.
this.
As I said in the last videos, Who's Ghost Stories has sponsored 2023's March Mayhem to buy us a trophy for the winner of this year. We're going to show it off now. I'll bring it up to the camera so you all can see it as well. Make sure I'm under both.
Under both. Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
All right, that's pretty awesome.
Wow.
Oh,
That is actually a good trophy.
That's amazing. Between that trophy and these drink things, this is starting out really nice. Very legit.
We said last time, every year we're getting a little bit better. This year's the most participants we have. So next year we'll have an actual active, interactable draft when we go to do the draft. So yeah, we'll get there.
10 years from now, you guys are going to make $1 million an event on the stream.
I mean,
You're not ruling it out.
it's not a bad idea.
That's
That's what she said. Sorry. I'm loving that.
we both rim shot.
I also love that Jordan is the one that's sharing, so every once in a while we get to see just some random typing, which is fantastic. But yeah, so this is very first round. Is it so? Yes, it is fantastic. And it's definitely going to show up in the final video as well. So, yeah, first round is Big the Cat versus Big Sister. So,
Good fight feel.
yeah, this is the big fight that we've been, hyping up since when we recorded this last week.
Do we have a...
So fair question. Is that a fair matchup? Because we're both new to this.
these characters?
We have no idea what's going on.
So, Big the Cat is an anthropomorphic cat from Sonic.
I saw the picture.
You know what? I will,
He also tends to be pretty big.
Like how big?
like,
Actually big? Or
Yes.
Like fake
Real
big?
big.
Like I thought Charizard was big, but he's really not. Yeah, that's bigger.
I mean,
And
Big the
then
Cat's pretty big.
Big
He's a
Sister, if you've ever seen
rotund fella.
Bio.
he is rotund.
Alex, would you
Big
like
the Cat is 6'6", and he weighs 616 pounds.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
would you like to explain the rules for round one?
Oh, yeah, that's actually probably important before we get. I read it.
Yeah, especially for two newbies.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, how this is going to work is each individual who is making their argument will have an initial, what do we say, 5 minutes for the original? Yeah. So you'll get 5 minutes uninterrupted to explain your character, special abilities, powers, if they're a character that has a loadout, what their loadout is.
An opening statement.
Yes, you are making your opening statement. You get 5 minutes. You can obviously choose to yield your time like we did with the seating. But you are given those 5 minutes just to make your whole claim. Nobody can interrupt. When your time is done, the next person will go. And then there will be 2 minutes of rebuttal for each. So if you have points that you want to go against the other person, you can make them. At the end of those grand total 4-ish minutes, the judges will be able to ask questions. Judges can have as many questions as they want, but it's going to be, shared across the board. So, like, if Joe, you have 4 questions. I have 2. Sean has 1. Andrew has 6. We'll just kind of go like in order until the judge has no more questions. So like I'll have a question and you have a question.
Right.
Andrew.
It's
And
not
so-
like 4 all at once
Yeah.
and then.
Correct. That way, if we happen to have similar questions, we can mark it off our own list. But then, after the judges' questions have been answered, the judges for that round will simply explain who their choice is, and majority wins. And if it's a tie because we happen to have 4 judges, we'll leave it up to fate.
We will roll it out.
We'll add a little bit
We'll flip the coin.
We have the coin flip app.
Yeah.
Which I'll also flip the coin to determine who goes first.
We need a coin flip. We don't have.
We
a
had one
actual
last year.
coin
Yeah,
we
Joe,
can use.
Joe, it's part of our thing. It's called the coin.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess.
I even made a whole. Last year, I put a whole ad thing about it. I put the actual screenshot of
I know, but it's still.
the App Store.
It's
And
still
Joe, I can also use
strange.
different coins on here: gold dollar, a euro.
Okay.
Oh, you can use a euro.
Okay, this-
Wait, can you
this
do one of
sells
the
me on
loonies? The $2 coin from Canada, a loonie.
That's a toonie.
Okay,
Looney is the one.
A loonie, you're right. A loonie is a 1. Thank
Oh,
you.
the state quarters are in here.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Like every single state?
I don't think every single state is.
We gotta flip the PA state
All right.
coin.
That feels only appropriate. And then the Michigan, Mississippi, Manitoba.
Who is the
9
higher
for 4.
seeded character? in
The
this
higher
one?
seeded is Big the Cat.
All right, Ryan. I will let you call the coin. Do you want heads or tails?
I'll take heads.
It is heads. Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go second.
Alright,
Mr. Burry.
Bold.
The place of honor.
Do you have a timer, Alex?
I have my timer ready.
Join whenever you start talking. Alex will hit the timer.
Alright, so sales guess. So I got Big Sister, who is. Okay, so I don't know how to do this. I'm fucking with you guys. I don't know how to do this.
Describe characteristics,
Okay.
story, strength.
Alright,
Just like a description of why you think
She win a death battle.
this character is.
I will say. Okay, I'll say that.
hard to beat in a fight, and
Huh?
know a lot about the opponent, why they'd be really good at beating that opponent.
Okay.
And we can. He's going to restart his armor.
Yeah. Alright, so I got Big Sister. Big Sister is a melee-focused creature who has a human enhanced by Atom, which is basically like kind of like radiation, I guess, if you could put it that way. But also has magic-based powers like telekinesis and can throw fireballs, and also steal health. It can do that as well. It is contained in a diving suit, but it is very agile. I think it's very tall, probably 6-7 feet, if I had to guess. Like I said, it's extremely agile. Can run away if needed, like to pull back to get distance. Has enough abilities to can push people away. Has excellent attacking with, like I said, fireballs. Has telekinesis. I think has giant needles on his hands as well. Let me see. It's very fast and agile, like I said. I don't really know what else to say.
It's fine. If you have my nose, you can yield.
I'm going to yield. I don't really know. This is
Just to help you a little bit, what's an impressive combat or survival type thing that inspired you to pick them? Or do you just like the character in general?
I will say, in the game they originate from, they are actually a very terrifying boss that routinely comes at you and basically scares the shit out of you.
Right, there's a chair over here.
Can pummel you to a pulp if you're not careful. It is not a boss to be taken lightly, especially back in the time when the game came out, when we weren't really all that familiar with stuff like that. We aren't familiar with like Dark Souls and shit like that.
You have anything else? Or do you yield?
Halfway through your time.
What time?
Yeah.
I'll yield. I don't really. For the first match, we'll see.
Yield. Right, fair enough. All right. Yes. Ryan?
I have Big the Cat, who, I'm going to be honest, I picked kind of as like a little ha-ha-y character originally, because he was just the silly cat who went fishing for Froggy in Sonic Adventure. As it turns out, Big the Cat has enormous superhuman power, enough to lift and walk around with cars and boulders much larger than himself with ease. He can similarly smash large boulders, and can knock away objects with enough force to ignite them on fire. And that is a direct quote from his wiki page. So the force necessary to just immediately combust something, I don't know what the exact number is, because I don't think that's something that happens in the real world, but I imagine it's pretty intense. It's enough friction from the air passing around it to immediately catch it on fire. And it doesn't specify like flammable objects, it just says objects. He has demonstrated enough speed to let him keep up with Amy Rose, is the only specification that is given about his speed in his wiki. And the only definitive thing of Amy Rose's speed I could find was from her death battle, in which she can travel at 765 miles an hour, or Mach 1. Which means that Big the Cat can run at Mach 1. He can also perform a spin attack like Sonic, where he curls into a concussive ball or cutting disc and directs himself at targets. He can do a homing attack and a spin jump with that. And he can also burrow and shred through just about any substance given enough speed. For weapons, he does have a fishing pole, which doesn't sound like much, but he can replace the lure on his fishing pole with a flaming life buoy, a flaming buoy, or a flaming iron ball that he can swing around. He also has a built-in umbrella on it that can help him fly through air.
Fucking Sonic Heroes.
And I think that while a big sister is a terrifying and formidable foe, I think it is still something that you can defeat as a human in the games. And as a human, I don't think I could beat something that could travel at Mach 1 and punch me hard enough to catch me on fire. And that is what I will say to end my time.
So, Jordan, any rebuttals?
I would like to add that his Big the Cat's ability to go Mach something. What did I say? Mach 10?
Mach 1.
Mach 1, sorry, Mach 1. While fast, how long can he maintain that speed? Because he is a giant cat to begin with. Also, I have figured out that I forgot. Big sisters can teleport, so they are able to. So technically, if they're very agile and reflexes, they could avoid Big the Cat's speed. And also, Big Cat has passable reflexes, from what I saw, also on the wiki page. Which means he might not be able to react as well to a oncoming attack.
Ryan, any rebuttal to that?
What I will say is that the time in which he is demonstrated to be able to keep up with Amy Rose is during a level in which you are entirely running. So that's 3 to 4 minutes he can maintain that speed. Also, it says passable reflexes and acrobatic skills enough to let him to do unique tricks and movements while mid-air, such as pulling off various spin attack maneuvers, one of which is the homing attack. Which could home in no matter how agile you are. It kind of loops around as seen in the video games. Also, I'd say passable reflexes in the Sonic world when people are traveling around at like basically light speed is pretty good reflexes.
Fair enough.
So you two have roughly 2 minutes if you want to back and forth any rebuttals to either statements.
If not, we can switch it over to judges for questioning.
Because I got a question.
Oh, I got questions.
I'm all right with moving on to questioning if you are.
All right. Can I go
I'm
first?
good.
Can I go first?
Go for it.
Yeah, go first. I'm going to go first. All right. So, Ryan, you mentioned it can change up, not it, Big the Cat, who he did tell me first name Big, last name Cat. Yes, middle name is the. That is fucking bonkers.
This counts against him.
All right. Sorry, Ryan. So, anyways, so you can replace the lure with a flaming life buoy, a flaming iron ball, and then a flaming third thing. When he swings it, does he have the reach of whatever the spool of fishing line is, or like does he max out at like 10 feet being able to swing that?
So, they don't ever give a specific like dimension for like the range. You know, it's kind of in reference to his body size, which if he's 6'6", I would say on average it looks like it's 2 body lengths out. So I would say he probably has a range of about 13 feet from where he's standing, plus his arm length, which I'd say probably gives him another foot or two. So probably about 15-foot range around him that he can swing it around.
So for the judges, we're talking basically like a normal fishing cast.
Yeah.
All right.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Based off what I know. Joe, what's your question?
Jordan has a question. Can he ask me?
Yeah.
This fishing line, how durable is it? Or is it just regular fishing line?
It can hold a flaming iron ball or life buoy on the end of it as he swings it around and hits shit with it. So I'm saying it's pretty sturdy.
But theoretically, could it be cut?
It's never demonstrated to be cut.
It's like Superman's hair.
So, as somebody who has gone fishing, fishing line is easy to cut, but it is very difficult to pull apart based on the strength.
Tensile strength.
I get so.
And does Big usually lead with the fishing pole?
I mean, based off what I know of Big the Cat, he is a fisherman at heart, so he's always having it. So you can kind of almost like a bag of holding, pull it out of just about anywhere and use it in like pretty much any situation. So potentially.
He's shown to like be able to still use both of his hands in Sonic Adventure while having the fishing pole also kind of just in his hand. I don't know if he has some sort of like dexterous thumb where he can just kind of tuck it in there or whatnot, but he's like picks stuff up, he interacts with things while still having the fishing pole seemingly in his hand.
But if he lost a fishing pole, like say it broke or the line broke, would that put him at a distinct disadvantage?
No, his brute strength is the main thing that gives him his advantage because that his ability to knock objects away with enough force to make them ignite on fire is not related to his fishing pole at all. That is in a separate section of his wiki page.
Fair enough.
So, it's basically his long range attack.
Yeah.
Let's move on from the fishing pole mechanics for a moment. I have a question.
Holy shit.
What? You can't just say holy shit and say nothing.
So the Coast Guard says
Oh god.
a buoy that is 26 feet tall
Oh shit.
and 11 feet wide, floating in the water, weighs 11,000 to 13,000 pounds.
But you gotta.
That's a strong fucking fishing line. That's like a chain he's using at that point. Jesus Christ.
Are we assuming that the creators of Big the Cat knew a buoy is that big and not just like a little like plastic thing?
Considering that Lanky Kong moves at, what was it, hypersonic speed on his hands, we go with the honest ridiculousness. We have to accept whatever their universe is. So we're
absurdities.
All right, Joe, you can go with your question.
I have a question about Big Sister. Is it fair to say that Big Sister is more of an ambush type attacker than
A what?
combatant?
Is Big Sister more of an ambush attacker than a head-on-head combatant?
I would say it gains an ambush ability. Like its surprise, like the ambush is like a big part of it. However, that is more of like an aspect of its ability to fight, and it's a very good combatant.
I'm holding his
Charlie, come here.
paws.
Charlie,
Yeah, you might need
Come here.
to put him down.
Come here. Come on.
I can't.
Charlie, come
'cause
here.
If I do, he's gonna get hurt.
Chuck, push his butt this way. I got the shaker. Whoop, whoop.
Gotcha.
There we go.
Come here, Charlie. Charlie, come here. Come here, Charlie. Charlie, bring
Okay,
it back.
so we have established that he's not just going to ambush characters. He uses as an aspect, kind of like stealth, but
They're out.
it's not his main
Jocelyn, give
fighting
me a
ability.
What I'm
Right.
getting here,
Right. If the ambush is successful, that's a very like successful attack, and it's good. However, its abilities are not more than just that.
Okay, but so that's not Big Sister's primary combat style. It's
No, I would say the primary combat is its ability to get real close to you and stab you with has like syringes as like blades, and then push you back far enough fast that you can't recover enough.
So that's how Big Sister fights, is kind of using its speed to get in close to you, within, too close for your type of ranged defense.
Right, your comfort zone.
And then just gets you really like that, and then it uses its speed to move away.
Yes.
Okay.
However, it does have a long range ability of being able to throw like fireballs and stuff, so that it could directly force you back while using time to ambush you again to get close up close personal.
What's like the speed and range of the fireballs? Like, are they just in general? Like, are they fairly slow? Or are they fairly fast?
It says, will randomly fire 3 or 4 large exploding fireballs in quick succession, dealing high damage.
Okay.
So I can assume that means they are very quick and can get to you quick enough that you can't defend them, deflect them.
Okay. If you don't mind, I do have a question also for Jordan about Big Sister.
Yes.
And it's about the steel diving suit. So, in preparing for this tournament, I actually researched every single combatant, both the wild cards and not, for a potential stipulation in a later round. So, my question here is, knowing Rapture and knowing the lore of Big Sisters, my question is that what material is the diving suit made out of? Is it standard like steel, or is it like specific Rapture-esque, like what kind of metal is the diving suit? Is I guess my question.
And if I can just add a little bit to that, is the diving suit actually waterproof? Just to clarify. It's kind of post-apocalyptic.
I will say it says they were designed by the head scientist of Rapture. So I can assume that means it was built with whatever steel they used to create the buildings and stuff. So it can withstand water pressure at bottom of the ocean. So I have to be pretty strong to do that. Just able to withstand immense water pressure. I'm going to be able to venture outside and swim around, so they would be waterproof. And they're incredibly strong to be able to do something like that. So I'm assuming that means something kind of like a diving bell type strength. So just get crumpled instantly.
Yeah.
Does the suit cover their entire body?
Yes.
Okay.
It's more like a less like a suit of armor and more like, what's a good analogy for it? Like
an exoskeleton.
A what? Yeah, like exoskeleton.
So I have one more question. And this one's for you, Jordan.
Okay.
In the picture that you posted there. Now, I should admit that before you named Big Sister, I never even heard of Big Sister. I played like the first Bioshock when it came out, and that was it.
I was just saying.
In the picture, it gives me vibes of the nurses from Silent Hill. Does it move like the nurses in Silent Hill, where it's very fidgety, or is it more fluid, like a normal, like humanoid person?
I believe it's kind of somewhere in the middle. If I had to analyze it, I'd say it's probably something like what's the girl from The Ring?
Samara?
Samara, kind of like glitchy, where like jolt, like very quick, like fidgety, but like quick, very quick like that.
So she's not slow like fidgety.
No, she's not slow by any means.
Normal. She's just
Yes,
right.
kind of like
a strobe light on.
Yeah.
So Tin Man with 3/4 of oil.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I would say more 7/8, but yeah, that's fair.
All right, Tin Man 7/8 of oil. Got it.
Sean, do you have any questions?
No, we did hit a lot of the stuff that I was going to ask. Do we want to move into deliberation? Because I'm ready.
I'm okay.
Start off since I didn't have any follow-ups. I mean, other than on the surface, we were taking a look and both these characters had big in the name. Going through these actual descriptions, though, we find out that they actually do have quite a bit in common. They're similar heights. They both use fire attacks. Both are agile. And I will say where Big the Cat, I believe, definitely has a speed advantage, I would say that Big Sister has a evasiveness advantage. The fact that they have telekinesis and that they have superhuman abilities makes me believe that their reflexes would also be sped up as well. So I feel like any movement that Big the Cat gets on Big Sister, I feel like they will already have thought to teleport and evade. The other thing that I find as an advantage to Big Sister is the fact that even though it's not armor in the traditional sense, this character does have armor. Whereas Big the Cat has, if I believe correctly, a handkerchief for armor.
Gloves and a belt. Yeah.
While Big Sister doesn't have, well, I guess Big Sister would also have range with fireball attacks. So I think I would give them the edge based off of just the teleportation to evade and the armor. I have to give this one to Big Sister.
I'll go next. Okay, we'll just go this way around. So I'm gonna have to go the opposite way. My vote's going to Big the Cat. That Mach 1 speed, I think, is killer even with teleport. And with Big the Cat's strength, even if they can land one punch, it sounds like Big Sister's flying away as a molten fireball. But then also, with that strength, if Big the Cat speeds up, even gets a hand on Big Sister, he can crush Big Sister on his head like a beer can. And I know we said the fidgety doesn't hurt it too much, but that split second at Mach 1 might as well be like 5 minutes. You know, in the Top Gun movies, if you hesitate for, a millisecond, you're dead. And we saw with Lanky Kong, speed can kill. But we're talking about Mach 1 versus somebody who's just fast, even with teleporting and telekinesis. I don't think you can outrun. And even if Big Sister tried to stay away, with that fishing, that can turn into a flail and a mace, basically. All hell's just breaking loose. You're looking at like a wrecking ball on legs that can run at Mach 1. Plus, the momentum that can come from that wrecking ball if he's running at Mach 1, he tags Big Sister with it. Big Sister's in space. And I don't think the diving bell suit can hold up in space for very long. So I gotta go big. The cats.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking along very similar lines. Actually, is Big Sister sounds fast, but Big the Cat sounds really fast. Speed translates into momentum, which translates into force. And Big the Cat is already heavy as is. He's whipping around a big, heavy object at that speed. That's a lot. The only thing that's kind of an unknown for me that I wish I'd asked was what Big the Cat's acceleration is like. Because if he has a really high top speed, it takes him a while to get there. That's the typical favor of Big Sister.
It's not too long.
Yeah.
He will have a slower beginning, but he will accelerate fairly quickly because he's on level with Amy Rose. Like Amy Rose is a small.
Yeah, so if he's at that same speed, I don't know, man. I think just based on the speed, I think Big Sister's gonna have a hard time hitting him, and he can wear her down and use speed or momentum from his big fishing pole mace type of weapon and beat through Big Sister's armor.
So your official stance is Big the Cat is your vote?
Yeah, I'm voting Big the Cat.
Okay. That makes this very awkward because the one thing that for me makes Big Sister the winner of this fight is something that Jordan said right away. She steals health.
Oh.
Even if Big the Cat is faster and stronger, if he's moving around her and avoiding, we're talking chip damage. We're talking slowly absorbing Big the Cat's health just by being around him. And I think that is, for me, that's the piece. Thinking about the reason I asked about the diving suit is because, while yes, one of the things that Big the Cat was, if he can go fast enough to pretty much cut through anything, as well as like fully just combust them with strength, knowing that it's designed with Rapture-esque design for the high pressure of underwater, that makes me consider that, it's not standard steel, it's not standard metal, it's actually something a little bit more. So I unfortunately, as much as I want to be like, yeah, Big the Cat, because I absolutely love Big the Cat, I love Sonic Heroes, I love Sonic characters, I gotta give my vote to Big Sister, which means we gotta rely on a coin flip for this, oddly enough.
Oh, man.
So, since Ryan picked the first coin flip, Jordan, I'll let you pick the next one. Heads or tails?
Tails never fails.
All right, and I am restarting the app, so there is no counter in there. Heads!
Wow. Our
So,
first one comes down.
Big the Cat moves on by a coin flip.
Wow.
Jordan, you should not be ashamed.
That was a valiant
That
effort.
was- yeah.
That is the second coin flip in the tournament's history.
Yeah.
Wow, that was intense.
And I like that
Ryan?
we started off with a coin flip.
Yeah.
Ryan, congrats on
Thank you.
Big the Cat moving on. You should be proud.
Thank you. The coin was on my side. It's all right.
The coin was on your side.
It was.
Collusion.
Any closing remarks from either you before we end this epic battle, which was epic?
It was.
Just want to say it was a valiant effort from my opponent. But I'm happy to see my own character move forward. I can't say that I'm upset by the outcome.
I was a little disappointed. I kind of figured Big Sister could go farther, but You know, it was like I said, a valiant effort, and he made good points. Also, Joe.
Just
You know, I had one piece of feedback, which was if Jordan had emphasized the health stealing ability a little bit more and gone into a little bit more detail about it, it may have influenced my decision. Because when Alex brought that up in his decision, I thought that was a really good point. That's a big thing that I didn't think
Joe?
about.
Don't be sad. That's the name of the game here.
Yeah.
I've learned from our previous 2 years of doing this that,
And look,
you take good notes.
to be fair, Joe, to help defend you, I don't know why I am because you showed up so fucking late. But to help defend you here, I've played many video games throughout my life.
Mm-hmm.
I've played many video games where I've had spells or potions that helped me regain life.
Mm-hmm.
And
Skyrim, and I still fucking die all the time.
That's true.
So that doesn't count for anything if you're getting blasted to fucking Mars by a
That's true.
wrecking ball.
That's true.
So, yeah, no, that's fair. But, yeah.
Big the cat.
Join us next week, guys, in our second matchup where we see Link take on Cassandra.
We're doing it that way? Oh, I'm an idiot, yeah. Oh, awesome.